Conversation with the Candidate continues.
Thank you for clicking on our extended digital conversation with the candidate, Elizabeth Warren, who's joined us today. We're going to continue with our town hall questions, starting with Laura Landerman Garber.
Welcome back to New Hampshire.
Thank you, Laura.
I am sorry that Bailey isn't with you, but
I know.
maybe next time.
Okay.
Maybe next time. On a more serious note, I think many of us, and sadly, tragically, most of us have been touched in some way by domestic violence.
Yes.
I'm a psychologist, and I see a lot of teens who have been assaulted in the home or have witnessed violent behavior between their parents or siblings. I'm very concerned, as I think the nation is, about this issue. It's a national crisis. What I've learned also is that state by state there are variations on how they approach these concerns and these issues, whether it's child placement outside of the home, custody arrangements. I'm sure you have a Warren plan for this. What might that be, and how do you address the nation of victims of domestic violence?
So let's start with that question about the victims. Is to say to every one of them, you are not alone. The rest of us are here, and we will make resources available. We will welcome you. We will help you through this, and you can build a life after this. I think that my experience with people who've experienced domestic violence is a sense of there's no way out. I'm trapped forever. My life will always be like this or worse. And that's part of it. That's part of beating somebody down. It's not just physical abuse and other forms of mental abuse. It's you have no power on your own. And I think this is, I want to start this by saying there will be power. Go ahead, Laura.
Can I say that a young person in Florida recently told me that a judge told her because she wasn't hit physically by the abuser that she could not get a restraining order.
Yeah, well,
there's a lot of different kinds of
That's right.
abuse.
That's right. There are a lot of different kinds of abuse, and the judge is wrong. So let's start with that. Then the part becomes, how do we help? And for domestic abuse, the answer is in a lot of different places. So part of it is the money that we need to put in on mental health. Sometimes it's for both parties who are involved in this, and children and extended families. You know, we have a mental health parity law in America that says that insurance is supposed to cover mental health issues at the same rate and in the same ways that they cover setting a broken leg or a cancer treatment. The reality is that just isn't happening. I have a plan to strengthen that, a plan to put more resources into it, but I think that's one place that's helpful. Obviously, one of them is making sure that we're funding our crisis centers, our counselors who are helping, absolutely critical part. Another one that I just want to mention, I mentioned earlier about universal child care. Universal child care is a way to create some independence. If you know that you've got a great setup for your baby, for your 2-year-old, for your 4-year-old twins, you know you can do it, and you will be able to afford it because it's there, it's free, it's available to you. That's where you get the little bit of hope to go finish your education, to take a part-time job, a full-time job, but the point is to start standing up a little bit. So I think that's another piece that intersects. And one more that I want to mention. I've got a housing bill that is about investing. America needs to invest again in housing. We've just quit doing this. You know, the developers, and I understand this, the developers now build at the top end. So if you want a McMansion, plenty of them available. But that little 2-bedroom, 1-bath that I grew up in, the tract house that the developers used to do, the garage was converted into a bedroom for my 3 brothers. They're not building those houses anymore. And the federal government has backed out of a lot of the housing that it used to provide. So again, I've got a plan, a plan, and it's fully paid for, to build about 3.2 million new housing units. They're for middle-class families, for working-class families, for the working poor, for the poor, for the homeless, for seniors who need a chance to age in place, for people with disabilities, and to provide housing for people who are victims of domestic abuse until they get themselves into another circumstance. So I think of this as the pieces are connected to each other, and every time we invest in our babies, we're also investing in their mamas and their daddies to help them stand up on their own, and we're investing in our future. And that's the way we don't just say you're not alone. That's the way we make sure you're not alone.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you,
Laura.
Laura.
Next
Yeah, that was
question
good.
comes from George Matthews.
George.
Hi. I believe the current occupant of the White House has decimated our international standing as an ally,
Yeah.
from North Korea to Iran and many places in between. Please tell me how you would approach foreign policy and the security of our great nation.
Okay, that's a really good question, George. Let me just start with a couple of baseline points. Foreign policy by tweet doesn't work. It's actually more complicated than that. And know the difference between your friends and your enemies. The idea that we now have a commander-in-chief who sucks up to dictators and autocrats, who, for example, in North Korea, has given North Korea every photo op they wanted, every propaganda and indicia of legitimacy, in return for what? He's continuing his missile program. And the thing is, it's not only how North Korea then looks and says, what chumps, it's the rest of the world says that. And when he attacks our allies at the same time that he supports these autocrats, then you watch much of the world pull away from us. And this matters because in foreign policy, we need our allies. That's how we are stronger. How did we get Iran to the table initially to negotiate on its nuclear program? And the answer was by working with all of our allies and actually bringing in on that Russia and China. Where do we stand today? Our allies have broken away from us, and Iran is working closer than ever with Russia and China. And it looks like we've got our toes on the edge of yet another war in the Middle East. This is just the worst of the worst of the worst as it keeps rolling forward. So let's think of this in a more holistic way. So how do you think about this? I think about the fact that we have multiple tools in the toolbox. Military is not our only tool. We also have economic tools and diplomatic tools. We need a strong State Department. We need a strong policy in working with other countries and in using foreign aid, our own and that of our allies, to help stabilize hotspots around the world. If we were putting more foreign aid right now into Central America, the crisis we see at the border would not look like it does. Mamas wouldn't feel like they need to wrap up their babies in the middle of the night and flee for their lives if those countries were more stable and the rule of law were in place. So partly it's about remembering the tools in the toolbox. Partly it's about remembering that if we are thinking about military action, we've got to be sure that it is our last resort, not our first. We don't threaten it if we don't mean it. And we don't go in someplace unless we are sure it is a problem that can be solved by the military and we have a clear plan for how to get out on the other side. You know, all three of my brothers served in the military. My oldest brother was career military, 5.5 years in combat in Vietnam. I know our military is the best on earth, and they will do whatever we ask them to do. Their families sacrifice, they sacrifice, but it is critical. The other half of that promise is we will not use them when they are not the solution, and we will not use them when we do not have a clear plan for identified objectives and then a way to get out on the other side. The world wants America to be a leader. Not all the world, but much of the world wants to turn to us and see our leadership, wants to see us live our values at home. So I'm just going to wrap this by saying one more part of it, and that is every one of these economic issues we've talked about, climate issues, gun issues that we've talked about, they affect us here at home, but they affect our international standing. We need to be a nation that prioritizes keeping our children safe. We need to be a nation that says we get that the threat is global and the solution is global, and we want to be part of that. We want to help. We want to be a nation that treats everybody with respect and dignity. Make sure that health care is available to everyone, whether you live in a big urban center or whether you live in a rural area. Everybody gets access. Those are the things, we live those values at home, we become a much more powerful leader around the world. Thank you.
Thank you, George. A question coming in from social media now.
Okay.
Judd Miller asks, do you agree with Bernie Sanders that people in prison deserve the privilege to vote?
So, I am completely on board for people having the right to vote once they've left prison, once they've served their debt. But while they're still in prison, there's a lot of your rights that are suspended when you're in prison. And I'm just not there on that one. Not there yet.
All right. Next question comes from Elizabeth Radisich.
Hi, Elizabeth.
Hi,
We got
Elizabeth.
double Elizabeths
Yes,
here.
we are.
Here we go.
We have a few things in common.
They're okay.
In addition to being blonde-haired, blue-eyed Elizabeths, we
Although
also.
I had to acquire mine.
Yeah, I still have some help too. We're both former teachers.
Oh, yes.
I also taught special ed for a little while.
Good.
And we both have a heart for service, and we live our lives to serve others. We also have in common that we have a family narrative where what we were told throughout our lives wasn't necessarily what came out once we took our 23andMe test. In my case, it was the Cherokee great-grandmother that did not exist.
Yeah.
Where we differ is that I'm the mom of 3-year-old twins,
Oh,
and my
you busy.
I am,
Uh-huh.
and my 3-year-old twins are black. And so it's given me a totally different perspective on the purpose of affirmative action. Because even though I can give my children everything in the world, my children at age 3.5 have already faced racism. That's why we have affirmative action. So I struggle with your decisions earlier in your career to self-identify on state documents as Native American. I feel that disrespected the reason why we have those affirmative action categories. So how do you overcome the bridge with voters like me who like you, who like your plans, who like what you have to say, but I have concerns about your honesty?
So, I grew up out in Oklahoma, and like most people, my brothers and I learned about who we are from our mom and our dad.
Right.
My family is very important to me, and based on that, sometimes decades ago, I identified that way. But nothing about the way I identified ever had anything to do with my academic career. The Boston Globe did an extensive piece on that about a year ago.
Okay.
Even so, I shouldn't have done it. I am not a person of color. I am not a citizen of a tribe. And I've apologized for any confusion and over tribal sovereignty, tribal citizenship, and any harm caused by that. The way I see it is that we have a chance in 2020 to decide the kind of America we want to be.
Oh, yeah.
Donald Trump wants to turn us all against each other. We have a chance to come together and to build an America in which we take up each other's fights and we try to make them all our own. I'll give you an example in my work. I try to be a good partner. And that means when I do housing, we talked just briefly about it in connection earlier with domestic abuse and the need for housing, that I have a housing plan that's about 3.2 million new housing units. But it also has a part of it that attacks the legacy of redlining head on. Just the quick background on this, housing is the #1 way that middle-class families, working families build wealth in this country, generation after generation. It's the one asset you buy that appreciates, and if grandma and grandpa can live in it until they die, it produces wealth for the next generation and the next generation. And that in turn creates other opportunities, educational opportunities, opportunities to start a business. So it should be no surprise that the federal government, for decades and decades and decades, subsidized the purchase of housing for white people. But for black people, it cut it off. That was redlining. And it discriminated against African Americans who were trying to buy homes, Latinx who were trying to buy homes if you lived in a community of color. And that was the law into the 1960s, produced a black-white housing gap that's big, produced a black-white wealth gap that's huge, began to come down when those laws were outlawed in the late 1960s, mid-1960s. And you see the black-white wealth gap start to close. And you see African Americans, for example, starting to own more homes. And by the way, white families starting to own more homes. It was just happening faster for African Americans. The gap was starting to close. And then the banks looked around and said, there's a lot of wealth being built up in communities of color. And that's where they started testing out the worst of the worst mortgages. And our federal government covered its ears, covered its eyes, and just let them have at it. Now, eventually, they took those terrible mortgages all around the country and ultimately crashed the economy in 2008. But today, the homeownership gap between blacks and whites is bigger than it was when housing discrimination was legal in America. Think about that. So, in my housing plan, 3.2 million new housing units, reduce rents across the country, the estimate is independently by Moody's, by about 10%. But attack the effects of redlining head on and provide first-time buyer assistance to people who've lived in formerly redlined areas, and buyer's assistance to people who lived in those areas and lost their homes during the crash. For me, it's about how we're going to build this future going forward. So that's what I'm trying to do.
Thank you.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Next question comes from Marie Mulroy.
Hi, how are
Hi,
you?
how
Welcome
are
to
you,
New
Marie?
Hampshire again. Yeah, my question, and you've talked about it a little bit, and I know you're starting to work on it, but how would you get the big money finally out of politics and elections?
So, here's the good news. I have the biggest anti-corruption bill since Watergate. Here's the bad news. We need the biggest anti-corruption bill since Watergate, because the effect of money, just as you say, Maureen, is felt everywhere. It's felt in every place. If there is a decision to be made in Washington, whether it's on guns or opioids or housing or education, it's been touched by money. So this bill has lots of moving parts. You wouldn't be surprised to learn that. Lots of moving parts, and here are just a few of them. The first one is end lobbying as we know it. And let me give you a very specific idea behind that. In this bill, I propose that everyone who is in the House of Representatives, in the Senate, in the White House, is the head of one of the agencies, or is a cabinet official, is banned for life from lobbying. Done. My view is, if you want an important government job like that, and those are very important government jobs, you can't be looking over the edge at your next job in the pharmaceutical industry or your next job over in the oil industry. So just ban them for life. I want to block the revolving door between Wall Street and Washington. This idea, and it's not just there, it's true for big ag, it's true for big tech. You can't have these guys who work for the industry, work for the industry, work for the industry. Are you ready for this? This is what happened to one of Trump's economic advisors. He then gets a bazillion-dollar payout to come work for the government for a couple of years, rewriting the tax laws for the industry that he just left. This revolving door between the industry and Washington has got to stop. So that's another one. I'll give you another quick one. Here's one you might not have thought of. The United States Supreme Court, do you know what the ethics rules are on conflicts of interest, for example, for the United States Supreme Court? Trust us. They have no ethics rules beyond that. The lower courts do, but not the Supreme Court. I think the Supreme Court should have to follow basic rules of ethics, that parties who have decisions that are pending in front of the court shouldn't be able to sponsor you for coming and doing a fancy speech at a fancy golf resort for days on end. I just don't think this sort of thing is right. And I'll give you one more. And then I could do these all day long, but I'll give you one more. And that is, here's one that'll dig out some corruption. Everyone who runs for federal office should have to put their tax returns online. Absolutely. The American people ought to be able to see it. I think that's something that exposes where you got your money, how you've been doing it. I've done it. I've now put out, I think it's 11 years of tax returns, and I think everybody ought to do it. And if you're not willing to do that, then don't take a job of public trust.
Well, thank
I
you.
hope that's helpful.
Yes, it was. Thank you so
you.
much.
Quick follow on that, Senator. You mentioned the Supreme Court. Some people in this race have said that there should be a litmus test publicly for nominees to the Supreme Court to say they would support the Roe v. Wade or basic abortion rights for women. Do you agree with that these nominees should declare their intent before a ruling is made?
Look, the way I see this, Roe v. Wade is the law. And you want a Supreme Court nominee and a Supreme Court justice who is committed to upholding the law. This is not an open question on Roe v. Wade. We don't need activist judges who are willing to overturn it. So I'm not sure you have to use the words litmus test on this, because this really is about what the current law is. But I do want to say on Roe v. Wade, I just want to do a quick one off to the side. For 47 years, we've been counting on the courts to protect us, Roe v. Wade, and for 47 years, we've been on defense. There's less and less protection. There's a little chip here on, well, it's okay to be Roe v. Wade, but we're going to shut down so there's only one abortion provider in a state, or we're going to make it impossible for anybody to operate, right? Different ways to keep narrowing it up. But we live in a democracy, and about 3 out of 4 Americans believe that Roe v. Wade should be the law. Whether or not they personally, how they feel about the questions of abortion or reproductive, they believe in reproductive freedom. And they say Roe v. Wade should be the law. So this is another one for me that I think we need to be on offense. And that is pass it through Congress. Don't rely on the courts for this. And besides, when you pass it through Congress, you can actually make the edges clear on this. No more of this kind of chipping at the edges and finding, side ways to try to undercut what's there in Roe versus Wade. This is what about 3 out of 4 Americans want. I think that's what we should just take to Congress, and I think we should adopt it.
Next question comes from Leonard Morrill.
Hi, Leonard.
Hi, thank you for coming here tonight.
You bet.
Okay, I'm an independent voter, and for the last 10 years, the most I've seen done in Congress is investigations one party over another. If half as much effort was spent on Social Security, infrastructure, gun violence, race relations, we would have gone a long way in solving these problems. Why should I vote for someone that's in Congress?
That's an interesting question. It's an interesting question, although I will point out to you, Congress knows how to act when it wants to act. It passed a $1.5 trillion tax giveaway in under 5 weeks? Why? Not because America's middle class wanted it, not because working families wanted it, not because small business owners wanted it, but because a handful of the richest people wanted it. In fact, it leaked out about a couple of congressmen said openly, We got to pass this. My donors have said if we don't get this passed, don't come back to me for more donations. So I think describing this as a Congress that doesn't work or hasn't worked for 10 years, I think it works. I think it works for the people who have money, and I think it works just great for them. I think right now, this Congress works great for giant drug companies, right? It just doesn't work for people who want to get a prescription filled. It works great for people who invest in private prisons. It just doesn't work for people whose lives are destroyed and whose communities are torn apart. It works great for giant oil companies that want to drill everywhere. It just isn't working for those of us who see climate change bearing down upon us. The problem, as I see it, is not that Congress doesn't work. It's that it's working very quietly and very well for those who make the investment in Washington, for those who hire the lobbyists and the lawyers and the bought and paid for experts, for those who flood that town with money. And the only way that's going to change is if we take it back and say no. And now the question comes, so how do you know I do that rather than anybody else? I walked the walk on this. When I decided to run for President of the United States, I said, I'm going to spend my time in town halls. I'm going to take unfiltered questions from anybody who raises them. But what I'm not going to do is I'm not going behind closed doors with a bunch of CEOs and a bunch of millionaires and raise my money from them. And that's exactly what I've done. I've walked the walk on this. Like I said, it's been over 100 town halls. I've taken more than 2,000 unfiltered questions. I've done over 35,000 selfies. It's true. We've done, but this is the heart of it, is I've worked on trying to build a grassroots movement because I'm not going to be beholden to some tech industry executive, to some oil industry executive, to some group that put bunches of money in and bought my time and got in my ear before I got there. The fundamental question is, who are we going to make government work for? And I am determined in 2020 that we've had enough of government working for a thinner and thinner slice at the top. We got to make this government work for everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Leonard. As
Thank
we
you.
wrap up
Thanks,
here,
Leonard.
I'm going to jump in with a question. So you share something in common with Donald Trump.
Okay.
You're running for president in a party in which you did not start your political life.
That's right.
So what vestiges of your former republicanism do you feel you retain in life today?
You know, I grew up in a family that just wasn't political. And even as an adult with, you know, kids and teaching school and doing my research, politics was not front and center for me. But politics, what I began to understand was through my research. So my research was on why families go broke, why America's middle class is being hollowed out, why working people are finding the path so much steeper and rockier than they did a generation ago, and why for people of color it has gotten even steeper and even rockier. And what I discovered in this is that the big banks that had built models on cheating people, credit card companies and payday loan outfits and giant financial institutions, that every one of them, they wanted changes made in Washington, particularly the fight I got in was over the bankruptcy bill. And all of the Republicans lined up with them. And frankly, half the Democrats did. But when I found somebody who was willing to stand up with working people and was willing to fight back against the big banks that were going to cheat them, they were all Democrats. And so for me, that was the deal. I said, I'm with the Democrats. I jumped in. That's been a long, long time ago, and I've been in this fight ever since for working families.
Senator Warren, we thank you for taking time with us
Thank
to
you.
answer our questions
Thank
and the
you.
town hall questions. Thank you to our audience here of New Hampshire voters. Thank you to the Senator.
Thank
Again,
you.
Kamala Harris next week. Thanks for watching.
Thank
Have a
you.
great night.
Good to see you.
You can go ahead and shake some
Good
hands
to be
here.
here.
And actually, you know what? As they wrap this up, I'll let everyone know the Senator has quite a system